Dialectic means the art or practice of arriving at the truth by using conversation involving question and answer. A dialectical journal is a written conversation with yourself about something you are reading, which encourages a habit of reflective questioning. This is a time-proven method, Socrates invented it, that deepens your understanding and comprehension as you read. The dialectical journal template that we will use gives you areas to note important events in the story, note figurative language and author's craft, sum up the big MIT, most important thing, and connect personally to the text. I'll use the first chapter from Hunger Games for my sample, since this is a book many of you are familiar with. Let's first look at the blank template. Use the File, Make a Copy option to create your own version to use for your reading. Add your name, title of the book you read, and the assigned reading sections you are covering. As you read, jot down important notes or noticings and your thoughts about them here. Notice something that might be foreshadowing? Write it down. Run across a vocabulary word you don't know? List it here too. Find a great quote that reveals something about characters? Write it down. Put the literal text on the left and your thoughts or questions on the right. There is a figurative language reference guide at the bottom of the template to remind you what common devices authors use in their writing. Be on the lookout for these. List plot events and happenings here. The entire dialectical journal is a note-taking and reading comprehension tool, so abbreviating and listing is just fine. Fill out the bottom two tables after you have finished reading. Look over your notes and events to determine the MIT, or single most important event or character revelation that happened in the section you read. Look for major events that will significantly affect the characters or future direction the plot will go. Finally, make a personal connection to the text. You may think this is tricky if your novel takes place in the past or in the future, or if your characters are dealing with issues you never have, but think about the characters' feelings and situations that you can relate to. Similarly, you may connect the text to other books or novels you've read, where similar issues or events happen. Let's look at my example from Chapter 1 of the Hunger Games now. You'll see in the text notes and noticings column that I've pulled quotations and words right from the book. In the column to the right, I've asked questions or added my thoughts and commentary. I have pulled some words directly from the text and noted how they contribute to the mood. I have a question I'm not sure about. I have quotes that reveal information about characters and character relationships, as well as quotes that point to a struggle in the book between the capital and the districts. I've noted some possible foreshadowing, which does in fact come true, but in an unexpected way, making it also an example of irony in the novel. And finally, I noted a simile I found. You need at least 7 text notes or noticings per section you read, not per chapter. Sometimes I just highlight the text evidence if the book is mine or put in a sticky note. When I get to the end of the chapter, I'll go back to add my reactions, commentary, or questions, so I'm not disrupting the flow of my reading too often. After I finished the chapter, I made a quick list of the important events. Some really important background information about Katniss's dad, the Reapings, and the Hunger Games was also shared, so I noted that too. Also, after I finished reading, I noted the MIT. In this case, I felt it was Prim's name being drawn, and I explained why. And finally, I made a personal connection to the text. My dialectical journal helps me keep track of what is happening and helps me process what is happening. Later, I can quickly review my notes for a quick recap of the events and to see how characters change in the novel. For example, in this chapter, Katniss feels upset with the situation with the capital, but she doesn't feel like rebelling or fighting against it. I'm thinking that might change. So that's the dialectical journal template and how to use it. Let me know if you have any questions about this process.